Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing my face for the first time, it's me, Chineze Frances. So this is a continuation of my story. I'm just going to dive right in. So around 2013, November 2013, my very dear auntie, Auntie Faith, she had her wedding planned. I've lived with her previously, so on this day, on this during this period, she had her wedding planned in November. I mean, it's 11 years anniversary for her. Shout out to her. Anyway, 2013, she had her wedding planned, and I thought I was going to come for the wedding because her own story is just a miracle as well. She's just one strong woman. So I thought I was going to come for her wedding. So I went down for her wedding, and or on the day of her wedding, she saw me and she was saying that, I was beautiful, but my face did look puffy. My face looked puffy to her, so she was like, "That doesn't sit. It didn't sit right with her." But anyway, after the wedding, I stayed with her daughters. She had two daughters at the time while she went for honeymoon with her husband. But around that period as well, my fiance turned husband. Hey, my fiance, he was coming down to for his cousin's wedding. So I also wanted to go for his cousin's wedding just after my auntie's wedding. So I, when she came back from her honeymoon, I went off for the wedding. So around maybe a week after, I went for the wedding, and then got to the wedding. I was already experiencing this. I was already stressed. Obviously, I journeyed through the road to Lagos from Abuja, if you know the distance. And when I got to Lagos, I was already stressed out. So I joined them in the wedding, joined in as much as I could because I could feel my body, really wearing me out or wearing out. Anyway, I managed, and the day I was to leave, come down to Abuja, my fiance at the time was also to travel back home. So I just told him that I'm really stressed out and I won't be able to journey by road again, that if he could book my flight ticket, which, thankfully he did. But even after I flew down to Abuja, and the day I got back, I was really stressed out. That day I was throwing up. I think I got back on a Sunday. I was throwing up. I was really sick. I mean, even up till now, if I'm so stressed out, I have a migraine, I throw up, I'm really sick if I'm stressed, extremely stressed. Anyway, so this whole scenario played out. And then when I, so this happened when I got back to Abuja. So my aunt called my mom. My mom told my auntie to put me in a bus so that I can start coming down to Onitsha. But I called my husband, and he obviously my fiance, and he obviously told his mom that he told me to go to Gariki Hospital. So my mother-in-law, God bless her soul, she was so there for me. I mean, telling the story now, I just didn't remember how things panned out, but you know, telling it now and thinking about it, I just remember my mother-in-law. She was always there for me. Ojimwayo, Ojimwayo. Oh, I'm so grateful to you, Mom. See, I'm really grateful. I wish I wish now I started telling the story a bit earlier. Um, yeah, I wish I started telling the story a bit earlier, just to probably make me more appreciative of the fact that you were there. But yeah, I'm so grateful. My mother-in-law was there. My mother-in-law to be, she was so diligent in coming to the hospital, bringing food, paying bills, just before my mom came. And I remember my mom feeling a bit unease, thinking, okay, I've not even gotten into this family, and look at the way they are treating me. So that was one of the reasons she wanted them to bring me back to Onitsha. Let her carry her load. But yeah, that's another thing. So when I say God was in my case, He was in my case right from the beginning. Anyway, so we're about going to the hospital. My auntie had this neighbor, just a young guy, and he dropped us in the hospital and gave us 4,000 naira at the time. So my auntie took me to the hospital, booked me in. You know how it is in Nigeria now. Booked me in for the card and things like that, just to register you in the hospital. And then when I saw the doctor, he wrote down a list of blood tests I needed to do, a list of blood tests I needed to do. So my auntie took the blood test and took it to the financial desk to go and cost it. So when she got there to cost it, they told her everything was 21,000 naira. And at the time, she was like, God, now where is she going to get this money from? Because she had just finished her wedding, she had just come back from honeymoon. What we had at the time was just what the cash she had at the time was the 4,000 naira her neighbor gave her. So I now told her that she shouldn't worry, that I have some money in my account. And that was how we withdrew the money. And when we withdrew the money, it was exactly 21,000. And that was how we paid. You know, I mean, at this point, it just showed that God was in my case from the beginning of the whole thing, from when Jumoke tried to get help to somebody not listening to her, and she obviously did get help. Took me to the hospital. Two people died. God was with me from the beginning of my case. Anyway, so after the blood test, the doctor admitted me, obviously, because there was no how I would have gone home. Uh, After the whole result, I was in need of blood transfusion as well at the time. And God, now if when you hear that Nigeria happens to you, it's no joke. Nigeria does happen to you. Nigeria is like a disease on its own. Then add your now add your own health condition on it. Anyway, so yeah, I was in need of blood transfusion at the time, and I think I was losing cognition. I was losing my senses. Let me put it that way, because I think now what I would place it in is blood. I didn't get enough blood in my brain, so I was mentally unstable. So you might, I mean, at some point I would have seizured, or I was just unstable. I don't know how to explain it, but I was really unstable, uncoordinated, brain fog, name it. Yeah, that was what it was. Anyway, so they needed blood, and at the time in the hospital there was no blood. That was how my auntie's brother, Auntie Faith's brother, and his cousin, her cousin obviously, ran around. They donated blood. Hey, God have mercy. They donated blood, and yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, it's just God. I can't say anything else. How I would have come out of this if God wasn't on my side. But yeah, um, so they donated blood, and that was how I had that blood transfusion at the time. And after the blood transfusion, I remained in the hospital. Um, During that period, my elder sister, was supposed to be called to bar. So my parents were to come over to Abuja for her call to bar. And when they came over, they attended the call to bar, but my mom had to stay back. I remember that day. I mean, I was really depending on God at the time, because I wasn't even at this point, I still wasn't sure what I was going through. Okay, yes, they told me kidney failure, but I wasn't sure the degree to what, to expect, the degree of what to expect. Anyway, went back home that day. She took me to her church, to a prayer meeting, and they prayed. I came to the front of the church, and they laid their hands and they prayed for me. One thing I know that really happened in the course of my journey to the diagnosis I got, was that so many people were involved in just intercessing or interceding for me. People were praying in my university colleagues, Auntie Faith's family, her church members, all of them knew me, because I mean, if you see, once you saw me, I wasn't feeling fine. Anyway, so they prayed for me and I went back home, but I think I was admitted again subsequently, just few days after, and then I remained in the hospital. Be ending this video here. I'm new to YouTube. I'm just trying as much as possible to recount this story, the fear, the support, the faith, that helped me pull through this whole process, the people that were around me. I want to just tell the story and use the opportunity to be more appreciative or appreciate them while I tell my story. If this video resonates with you, I would really appreciate if you like my videos, share. I just think here is a better platform to share my story. And if you think this is in any way going to encourage anybody, please try to share my videos, subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions you want to ask me, please feel free to, and I'll be just there waiting to respond. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate. See you next time. Bye.